In this tutorial, you're going to learn the basic nose construction for a person turned to the side, which is what we call profile view. Again, just like with portrait view, you're going to start by looking at the nose of the person you are drawing. Again, you should see a triangle where the triangle comes this way, and maybe, depending on our person, it's flat and coming down this way. Maybe our person, their angle of their nose comes this way. Maybe the angle of our person is this way and it comes directly below. So it's going to be a triangle, but it's not going to have equal sides. So these sides are going to be slightly different, and this angle at the bottom could be very different. So we're going to start by looking at our person, and we're going to sight the outside. So my person's facing to this side. So I'm looking at this bridge of the nose down to the tip of the nose, and I'm going to sight that angle. So remember, this is all measurable and observable. So my person, their nose is at this angle. So if I have this angle, and this is just general, they might have some bumps or edges in their nose here. I'm getting the general line that goes to the bridge of the nose. So generally from this bridge of the nose, a person might go straight up on their facial features. They might come forward, but this is generally where that bridge of the nose is, that indentation in their face. And remember, not everybody is going to have a strong indent like this. You just have to be observant of your person. So then you're going to decide if this is the tip of the nose. When I'm looking at this side view, can I see below that, or is it flat, or is this tip coming back up for my person's nose? In this case, my person's nose is coming angled down. So I need to measure that angle and draw that angle. So the angle of their nose, tends to come about this way. And now I'm looking, and it doesn't quite touch. If I were to line up my pencil with the bridge of their nose, my person's face is close to this line, but not quite touching. So the next thing I want to do is look at the ball of the nose, which is at the tip of the nose out here. So I'm looking at that, and how large is it? How far up the nose do I need to measure it? On my person, it's about 1/3 of the way up this nose, and it's just going to be a ball of the nose. So I'm drawing the ball, and remember, it's not a teeny tiny little thing. The ball of the nose is a good chunk of the nose. And now, if I'm looking at this, does that come all the way to the edge? It usually doesn't come. If it comes a little bit below this, maybe, but it doesn't usually come much lower than that. And then I'm going to measure and draw the angle from the bridge of the nose down to where that outer nostril is. So I'm looking at my person. I'm going to measure that angle, and I can see that that angle is generally to here. And now I notice that these don't connect. So I'm going to measure this angle to make sure that this is correct on my paper, that I might have a flat line or an angled line. So I want to check that by sighting it. And in fact, mine should come across right here. So now this is my outer nostril out here. And then what I'm looking for is to measure and draw the placeholder contours of the inner nostril and outer nostril. So on my person, if this is the ball of my nose here, I'm looking for where is that nostril, because it's going to generally touch the ball of my nose. And what is that angle? Is it steep? Is it coming down? So I'm looking for the angle of that nostril that's going to be right here. And I'm looking for where is the measurement of my outer nostril. So does it line up, or is it lower than the ball of the nose? And in my case, it's a little bit lower than the ball, and it kind of juts up against the cheek here. And so it comes around here, and then this comes up and connects to where you're going to have that nostril that's the inner nostril. So on my person, it tends to connect right here and up to that nostril. Now I'm looking, finally I do want to look and give myself a good idea of the contour line of the nose. So here I notice it curves out, and then there's a little bump on my person's nose, and then it comes down a little. So not a strong bump, just a little one. And then it starts to come in a little bit, and then it comes out for the ball of the nose. And then that same line that comes around like this, I'm looking at it and it's coming close to that inner nostril. But then if I were to look at my person, that is just in front of a line that would be right here. So my person connecting to their upper lip is going to roughly be right here. So now you can see this is the general shape of my person's nose. I got a little crowded in there. So this should be fairly straight with just a teeny little hint at a bump. And then this is the general shape of their nose. And as you go, remember, you're going to add value. So you're going to go ahead and draw all of these lines lightly so that when you add your value, you don't have to do a lot of erasing. And if something's not looking right as you're starting to think about value, go ahead and check those measurements and go ahead and make any adjustments necessary.